Palmistry reading of a particular female whose age is 32. So we'll be reading her hand. Before I start the video, I would request you to press the bell icon on YouTube and don't miss another update. You can call me or you can email me. These are the phone numbers that you see on the screen that are mentioned out here. So now we straight away head to this particular hand image that we have in front of us. It is said that we should take a look at the left hand for female and right hand for male. This is the general thing that is said. But in my case, what I do is I take a look at both the hands to come to the final conclusion. It is not that we have to ignore the second hand. So first I would let us start with the left hand. Now in both the hands, what common thing can be found is that there are many lines all over the palm. Many lines. These are the important lines. This is the lifeline, this is the headline, this is the heart line, and this is the money line. But apart from that, you would notice many crisscrossing kind of lines all over the palm. So it's better not to have too many crisscrossing lines. It is something like you're traveling in a car, and if there are many roadblocks out here, so the person is going to face roadblocks all throughout. The other way of looking at too many lines is that wherever we find many lines, each and every area is a particular planet, different planet you see out here. And these are also planets, the center of the mount, these are different planets. So whenever we find many lines over any particular area, it means that particular area gets overworked. Let's take an example of the center of the palm. Center of the palm is the portion of life where important events take place in your life. Let us just take a line, something like this. This is the lifeline, this is the money line. So this and this is the headline. So this intersection is age 35. So this portion, this circular portion that I've drawn on the money line, the age out here is going to be around the age 30 and till the age of 53. So this portion of the life is a very important area. And if we find too many lines in the center of the palm, the person may face few disturbances and blockages. And this is the center of the palm is the area of planes of Mars. It is just a name, and the quality depicted by planes of Mars is temper. So if there are many lines over the area of center of like planes of Mars, the person's temper could get out of control, and the person may get angry over wrong issues. And where the person needs to get angry, the person may not get angry. So this is a little bit negative aspect. But apart from having too many lines, but if a person has got few positive lines, so positive aspects can be expected in their life. Let's take an example of the headline. This is the headline, and it is dipping really deep down towards the Mount of Moon. See, Mount of Moon is the area of imagination, visualization, and romance. And when the whole line dips really deep down towards the Mount of Moon, so extreme imagination comes into play. So supposing there's a small problems the person is facing, because of the imagination, the person is going to make that problem really big in the mind. So this is what it is. But at the same time, each and every sign can have positive as well as negative aspects as well. So negative aspect I have explained, but the positive aspect of the headline going really deep down towards the Mount of Moon is good amount of imagination, visualization, and romance. The ability to imagine, not everybody has that ability, and artistry comes to this particular person. Now artistry need not be only doing oil painting or watercolors, or just something like playing some music. Art can be in any form at all. So it is, artistry can be in any form. So we can't say with what art, but whatever profession the person is, the person would have that mastery over it, and that artistry over that particular thing. This is one way of looking at it. The other way of looking at is that you would notice that this is the line of money and this is the headline. So this intersection is age 35 on the money line. This portion is before the age of 35, and this portion of the headline is before the age of 35 on the headline, and this is the money line before the age of 35. So we are going to be talking about before the age of 35, what things are happening in this particular person's case. So this point is age 35. Now on the headline, the first thing we would take a look at the headline. Now the headline, you would notice that on the headline there are few upward kind of lines swinging upward towards the Mount of Mercury. Mount of Mercury is the area of skills, calculations, communication. This is the area of statistics, economics, biology, chemistry. This is the area of networking skills, human to human networking or coding skills, or any kind of networking. And upward lines from the headline, imagine something, and just for explanation purpose, I'm just explaining to you in a different way. Imagine the fingers is the sky and the lower portion of the hand is the earth or the gravity. So if there was a branch from the headline moving downward, it would mean mental disappointment. We are not talking about the whole line going downwards. We are just talking about a small line moving downwards towards the Mount of Moon. It would mean mental disappointments. But in this case, what's happening is that there's an upward line from the headline moving upward towards the fingers, like going against the gravity. So this basically is a very, very good sign. This means upliftment of mind, and upliftment of mind is only going to take place when some success is happening or something, the person is getting what they really want. So upward lines on the headline are excellent kind of lines that we can see, and it's a very, very positive sign to have. And upward lines from the headline moving upward is the person is trying to master some skill or gaining in knowledge, because this is the area of knowledge. So upward lines are always good. Now one more thing I need to add out here is that everybody wants to know about the money line, and people think that money line would tell every aspect of their palm and like how much money they will be making in their life. It's not like that. Each and every line does tell something or the other about a success or failure. So same case, even the headline, this small indication of upward motion of the headline is considered to be a beautiful sign for success, and these upward lines can be seen in the earlier portion as well. And there's an upward line moving towards the Mount of Jupiter. Jupiter is for high position and honor. Now the quality of the upward line from the headline in the earlier portion of the life, this is quite dim and weak, but still, because it's there, it would certainly benefit this particular lady. So this is another way of looking at it. Then there's an upward line out here, then few more upward lines moving upwards. So all these lines are considered to be good lines. So another way of looking at the headline is what kind of a vision the person basically has. So if the headline is moving downwards, that's imagination, and upward is skills. So just imagine this is the whole wide area where the person is able to see things in different perspectives. The person can see the practical side also, the side of skill side, as well as the downward is the imagination. So this is in palmistry we call it, when there's a branch like lines on the headline, something like this, we say that the person could be a genius. Now genius doesn't mean that they know everything. Genius only means that they are genius in their respective field. Whatever field they have chosen, in that field they are extremely good. So the timing I've just mentioned, this is the upward line. The person would be experiencing these kind of things at upward lines, or for some success the person might be seeing those things. But at the same time, if we take a look at the money line, now the money line is starting on the Mount of Moon, and it comes somewhere out here, and before it touches the line of head, this portion is where the person is. Like the person age is 32, so age somewhere out here on the money line could be age 32. So you would notice that there's a changeover that is happening somewhere out here. There's a changeover that is happening out here, and changeover on the money line could means few problems that the person might face. Now the problems at this particular age, we also use some common sense as well. there are two or three kind of problems that a person can face, either the career, job loss, work loss, or business loss, whatever it could be. The second aspect could be the main earning member of the family, their health or wealth goes down, so more responsibility falls onto this particular person's head. The third could be the personal life gets disturbed. So any one of these may get applied. See, disturbances on the line of money could mean disturbances in other aspects of the life as well. Now, if we take a look at the line of heart, this is basically the line of heart. Now, the heart line is basically seen in terms of a relationship. This is also seen in terms of, I basically see in terms of your career as well, how good the person's career is going to be by looking at the heartline. Generally, the heartline is perceived to show only indications of your relationship as well as your love life and all these kind of things. So a simple heartline would always mean better possibilities. But when we find that the line is running parallel, something like this, or having few branches over the heartline, this is when anxiety issues may crop in. So, and anxiety issues basically take a toll on one's personal life as well as their professional life as well. So, my advice to this particular person is try to declutter the heart and remain focused and remain dedicated. That's my suggestion. That's what my suggestion is going to be. And a line that is running parallel, two lines running parallel, that means duality in emotions. A person's emotions is in two boats at the same time. So we have to be on one boat. That's when we are going to be much more stable. Now the sun line out here, the career line, this is the career line. You would notice it's reasonably okay. It's starting on the Mount of Mars positive area. It is just a name, Mars positive. This area is known for coolness, calmness, and tenacity. So having the career line start on the Mount of Mars positive gives these particular qualities to this particular person, this particular lady. So the person would be known for these particular qualities that I've just mentioned. Now, apart from this, you would also notice that on the lifeline, this is the lifeline, you would notice few upward kind of lines that are visible throughout the life, and it's more evident somewhere close to the age of probably the age of 44 and above. And upward lines can be seen even out here in the earlier portion as well. This earlier portion lines are more pointing towards the Mount of Jupiter. So so upward lines from the lifeline pointing towards Jupiter gives the person position, and towards the later portion, when they point towards the Mount of Saturn, it brings more money, possession, and wealth. So in that way, upward lines are the lines of luck on the lifeline, and considered to be really good signs. Now I move on to the other hand as well. The other hand, okay, the person has sent me the side profile images. Now probably the person wants to know about their personal life. This is the heart line. The earlier portion of the line is in the early portion where the person gets attached to somebody. Then this is somewhere a little bit later, and this particular age could be approximately 35 or so. This is when these lines crop up. But the calculation of these lines is sometimes a little bit wrong, because whenever we look at the palmistry book, they basically just draw these kind of lines and they just mark the age. But if we try to correlate in real life when these are going to take place, sometimes we might not be accurate. That's the reason why I don't take too much of importance to these particular lines. These are one line doesn't mean one marriage or two marriage, so it's not related to marriage at all. If a person has got four lines, it doesn't mean four marriages. It's not like that. And very dim kind of lines have got an attachment that is not long lasting, and it is there only for a few years or few months. A little bit stronger line, their effect is long lasting, and if it is dipping a little bit downwards, so it is straining the person's life, like it is kind of having a bad effect on a person's life. Like the other person, the partner could have bad health, or the person wouldn't be able to adjust with that particular partner. So all these kind of things can be seen if it dips downward. But the later portion of line, these are simple lines, not going downwards, so they are much better compared to the earlier portion. Now we move on to the other hand image, the right hand image that I was saying. In this particular hand image, also we find that the headline is branching into two. One is downwards and the other was, so the person is genius. There's an upward line pointing towards the amount of mercury. Even this is considered to be a good sign. There are too many lines out here in between the heart line and the headline. It's always good not to have these too many lines, because the person's temper is going to be out of control, and if our temper is out of control, even if there are some positive things happening, the person may not feel those positive things. So, or because of bad temper, the person might lose those things, and the feeling is going to be there that things are not in control. So this is what the general feeling is going to be, and the person's stomach may get disturbed, because the center of the palm is something like a center of your body, and many lines over the area of Mars, planes of Mars, basically mean that too much of heat is getting generated, and if there's too much of heat getting generated, the chances for indigestion and those kind of stomach related issues may arise. But if the person is able to cool down and have very systematic kind of a lifestyle, very lifestyle that is without any junk food or too much of sugar or spices or any kind of things, those things might help to reduce the bad effects that you see out here of having too many lines. Now, as far as the sun line goes, you'll notice that there's a jumble up of line, too many lines out here, and this is, so the person would be wanting to do too many things. So my advice to this particular person would be, try to remain committed to one or two things. That's it. Don't try to do too many things. Try to concentrate yourself into few things. That is going to bring you much more result than too many things. And see, each and every line that we see out here, the sun line that you can see out here, these are lines of some people say lines of name and fame, some people say line of luck, but I normally say this is how much energies you are giving to your work. And if there are too many lines, that means that you're trying to give energies to too many works at the same time. So in that way, it is not such a good sign. The other aspect that I missed out was, let's take, this is the money line and this is the headline, and you would notice the headline and the lifeline, they both are joined at the start for a very long duration of time. Normally these lines, sometimes in some people's case, it's something like this. So it means just in time for everything. Sometimes there's a big gap between these two lines. It would mean that the person is very rash by nature, but because in this particular case both lines are joined for a very long duration of time, it means very cautious, shy, hard-working person, a person who contemplates 100 times before finally making a decision. So this is what the person is, and in a way it can be good, in a way it can be bad. The bad part is that they might lose out on many opportunities, but many a case I've found it to be an excellent sign. It's just a way, it's just a perception, how we perceive things. Let's imagine if a person misses out on opportunities, so the person is left with fewer opportunities. So if the person is left with fewer opportunities, the person is able to concentrate on those fewer opportunities to excel in those few things. So there's no competition for such a person at all. But their success comes, people with this kind of indication, their success comes much better after a certain age. Sometimes it's after the age of 35, sometimes it's after the age of 44. It depends from person to person, but this is just an approximate, I would say. So it doesn't mean that earlier portion the person wouldn't basically get success. The person may get success in the earlier portion as well, but but in the later portion, it's going to be much more. So we would move on to the other aspect, that is the relationship part. Now, normally the relationship part is seen on the heart, and I've already explained regarding this particular aspect regarding the relationship part, that the line is a little bit unclear. It has got too many branches over it. I will talk about that, but first let us start with the money line. Now, the money line is generally perceived to be the line for your money, possessions, and wealth. But apart from that, it can also tell regarding any hardship that can come from relationship as well. So if there is a broken kind of a money line just before the age of 35, you would notice that there's a breakout, there's a changeover that's happening on the age of 35. So chances are either it could be money related issues, and because the person has got having money related issues, their personal life is also going to get disturbed. This is one way of looking at it. The other way is that the person's relationship goes bad, and that's the reason why their work goes down. So it can be either way. It might play out. So so even on the money line, these problems can be seen. Regarding the heart line, the heart line is ending on the mount of Saturn. This is a good aspect, but because it has got many branches over the heart line. Now, branches over the heart line basically signify getting distracted. The person is not able to dedicate himself. The person is flirtatious. Now, don't think that when we say flirtatious, it doesn't mean that they're just going out and all. It's just that they are not able to dedicate their life to one particular relationship, and they get distracted. Now, distraction can be in two ways: distraction in your relationship or distraction in your work, even your profession. So this is the thing that the person needs to take into control and try to contain distractions and remaining committed. So what also happens is that these branch like things on the heartline, what it means is attachments on the heartline. Let us draw a physical heart. This is a physical heart, and we are drawing a branch that is hanging onto the physical heart, and there's a weight also hanging onto the physical heart. Imagine these branches that I've drawn are branches hanging onto the heart. Now the heart is getting pulled downwards by these attachments, these ropes that are hanging downwards from the physical heart. So what's happening is that the physical heart, with these kind of attachments, it is said that attachments bring in expectations. Expectations are not fulfilled. That's the reason why disappointments creep in, anger creeps in, anxiety creeps in. So it's not, don't think that the partner the person gets. Some people think that the partner they would get is going to be a bad partner, but sometimes it might not be like that. We can't say with certainty how the partner is going to be. But the person themselves might have these anxiety issues, and the person may feel not content in any particular relationship. It is not only a relationship that is like boyfriend girlfriend or husband wife kind of a relationship. We are talking about all kind of relationships where expectations may creep in. So the person has to practice detachment. Now detachment people misunderstand. In our holy book in India, Bhagavad Gita, detachment is explained. What detachment is: detachment is being in a moment without having expectation of the outcome. So you have to live in that particular way. That's when no amount of trouble in your life can affect you. Now, even if there's a small problem, the person may feel it's a big problem, and the big problem is also happening because the headline is dipping downwards towards the mount of moon, because there's lots of imagination. So if there's lots of imagination, even a small problem, with imagination you can make the problem so big, huge. So this is what I can say with the relationship part. But the good part about the heartline is that the heartline is ending somewhere close to the mount of Saturn. Now the Saturn is the mount for possessions and wealth, money, possessions and wealth, and responsibility. And it is not, the heartline is not very long. It is not reaching the amount of Jupiter. If it was reaching the amount of Jupiter, the person would be extremely emotional, and the person would be so very touchy about things. But because it's ending on the amount of Saturn, it means that the person is responsible, the person is grounded, the person knows the ground situations very well. Now the person may say that the person is very emotional. The reason being because towards the end of the heartline, there's a curvature in the heartline. So curvature in the heartline makes a person temperamental. It makes a person express their emotions. The person may not be emotional, but the person is expressing their emotions much more. So and the person may not be able to contain their emotions. So this is what basically is depicted out here. Now many lines out here also, because Saturn is for other qualities as well. Saturn is also for money management. These are the positive qualities, responsibility. But Saturn is a very slow moving planet, and because it's very slow moving, so we might feel that things are not moving at all in our life. And it also gives a little bit depressive tendencies. So the person needs to, because they got too many lines out there, that's the reason why the person may feel those delays. At the same time, there's a square like formation also. Square like formation basically preserves those particular aspects in their life. I will just end the video out here. Before ending, I will just repeat few things that I repeat in almost every video, and that is, we can come to know about money from almost every aspect of our hand. It can be our lifeline, our headline, our heartline, Sun, Mercury, Venus, or Mars, or any other line. The importance of money line is just 15% in how much money we would be able to make in our life. A saint once said, you don't need to go to an astrologer or a palmist to know about your future, because you already know your future. Present is a result of past. How will be my future? Future depends upon what you are doing in the present. What are we? We are product of our thoughts. So the thoughts that come to our mind are really important. Keep positive thoughts and keep good company. See, sometimes what happens is our hand might have everything bad on our palm, but if we keep good company, we are going to get good guidance. And because we get good guidance, that's the reason why nothing is going to affect us. Sometimes it's the opposite. The hand quality is going to be excellent, but because they keep bad company, everything bad is likely to happen because of bad company. So choice is yours. Choice is yours. And anybody who wishes to ask any question can ask in the comment section down below. Thanks for watching. Bye and take care.